my brother, you are saying that South Africans are anti-Nigerian. I'm asking you a simple question now. Name one statement that signifies that.
I'm sorry, repeat the question.
You are saying that on the panel there is a South African that made a statement that was anti-African. Name that statement, please, and tell us who said it.
Statement, but what I heard, he said something about Nigerians, and his last statement was pretty basically kind of negative in a sense. But
what was the statement?
I think it just triggered me. What triggered me is
what was the statement?
I don't recall. I don't honestly.
Wait. So you are coming up here to say people are anti something, and you have no evidence for why they are saying so. You then want to say you don't remember the person who said it, but more importantly, you don't even know what the statement was. So you are coming here to talk about something that you are saying was a problem to you, but you cannot tell us what the problem was. What the problem was, because you have no evidence for it. So how are we going to have an intellectual debate when you have no evidence for the point you are bringing forward?
Okay, so like I told you, right? So when you know how we go through these apps, right? You slide through the apps, right? So when I slide on this channel, on this app, and I heard, because like I said, it's something that triggered me because I have gone through many apps, many slides and lives with predominantly South Africans would be in the chat room. And whenever you see most of the South Africans in the chat room, they tend to be very anti-Nigerian. It's very every chat you go through where it's South Africans panels, it's always anti-Nigerian, and I've never understood this.
Okay, so right? You're saying always, but you can't even give one example of such a statement that triggered you. Yet you're saying always. No, does that make sense?
Okay, let me emphasize this. Okay, let's put this in this way, right? Okay, let's say I forgot the last word he said, but what? Okay, you know how when someone speaks, right, you can hear from the tone of their voice, right? How their aggression in their voice, right? And I heard the aggression in his voice. I heard the way he spoke, and I'm like, okay, he's not happy. There's something going on here, right? Like I said, I'm a very honest person. I can come here.
That's how it made you feel.
Yeah, because his tone of his voice very angry, very aggressive, and like I said, I have been on a panel that is similar aggression towards Nigerians.
Okay, but in the court of law.
So wait, no, it's okay, Stigma. It's okay. When
can I see an example of what just happened?
Wait, unmute him, because we're not talking to Freeborn. Freeborn must relax. You must respect. Yes, but it's not your time to talk. You see, King Money came here. We told him to address him, to tell us who he was. He obliged. He's been very respectful. We have no issue with him. Right now, we are going through his argument nicely. No one is fighting with King. We are talking to him nicely. King, am I wrong?
No, you're right. You're right.
Exactly. So my thing with you, King, is, and again, my bro, this is nothing personal, but you are saying that you were scrolling through their lives, you heard a South African speak in a tonality that you found to be problematic, and it made you feel a certain way. But you cannot tell us what that person said. So how can we have a logical argument with you based on your feelings?
Okay, well, I can see where you're coming from. Like I stated earlier, right? What I heard, he said he mentioned Nigerians, right? And he altered it was an aggressive tone, right? I may have missed.
What did he say?
Forget. Like I said, he's okay. I'll give you the first few words that I heard, right? And I think probably trying to, while responding and time has passed, I probably forgot exactly the last words he stated. But he said something in such words, these Nigerians in some sense, and it was seemed very angry. Because if you use a term like these Nigerians in the sense, like obviously there's nothing, you're not happy, right? You have an issue with Nigerian. So
right now,
if you recall.
So King, right now, your entire argument is based on how you feel about someone else's tone. How is that an argument that can hold value in terms of a debate? I don't understand how that holds value in terms of a debate, because I cannot go into a debate and say I heard someone say black people, and I cannot say what they said, but I remember how I felt. And then I go and I say online, we need to discuss this point because I didn't feel good.
Have you ever been through have you ever been through the court system? I don't know how the court system works in many countries, but here the court system in the States is what the court system works. Since you're trying to have a debate, right? The court system works in a sense, right? Because human being can forget. Right? It's very nice. The court system know you can forget. We're human beings. So the court system, okay, give me a rough estimate of what you heard, what you know, right? So we can have a
you still haven't you haven't even given me the rough estimate.
I did give you a rough estimate. I did.
What did he say about Nigerians? So what did he say about Nigerians?
He said these Nigerians in aggressive tone, right?
Are doing what? Are doing what? I could easily say, you're all right. Like, I'm gonna give you a simple example. Let's just say, for example, I am happy.
If you telling me,
wait, let me give you an example. Let me give you an example, right? If I am in a position
Freeborn, please relax.
Wait, we're not arguing. We're not talking to you.
No, but we're saying
now. Wait,
just relax,
so, Mr. King, I could be in a position where I'm saying these Americans, and I make that statement, and then I go on to say whatever I say. My tone could sound aggressive, but I could be saying that these Americans made a good decision by voting Trump into power. So that could be me praising Americans, but somebody else might find my tone to be loud or aggressive.
I don't think that was
a tone. So a tone versus a message conveyed are two very different things. Because right now you don't even remember what the person said. How do you know if the person didn't say these Nigerians are fantastic people? You don't know if they said that, because clearly you are in a situation where you don't even know what the content that they brought was. You don't know the context of their loudness or their passion. You are coming here because you heard someone say these Nigerians in a passionate voice and it made you feel a certain way. I cannot then be in a situation where I have a debate with you based on tone and how it made you feel, and you're basing your argument on nothing but facts, my bro. It's nothing against you personally. I just feel like your argument is weak, and that is me being very generous.
Okay, I can see where you're coming from, and like I was saying in the sense, right? If you were to say, okay, I'm an honest person, I don't see you trying to have an argument in the sense where you say, okay, what are you gonna defend against? But what I'm saying in a sense, if you guys been in the panel longer, I have been in the panel, right? And I just got on the slide, so obviously you know the full context of the whole entire conversation prior to me coming in, right? So you will, if you will come from an honest standpoint and say, okay, I can see you probably heard something that we have been hearing, etc., right? So yeah, so when like I said, I'm not even Nigerian. I'll be very honest with you. I'm Liberian. But what triggers me, like I said, I've been, you know how when you have an experience and so forth, what triggered me is that every time I go see a South African panel, every panel I've gone through a South African panel is always anti-Nigerian. It's very biased. It's very, I have heard things that I can't believe this coming from other Africans towards other Africans. It bothers
those
me,
things that you have heard. That's what we are asking for.
Out of this panel,
what are the things that you have heard? That is the evidence we are looking for.
Like the criminality, even prior to other Bob mentioned criminality. And the Nigerians being criminals, they're not law-abiding, etc., etc. It is very common within South African panels, right? Okay. And when I come to the panel and I hear such things, right, it bothers me because I'm like, you're alluding to a situation that is not. That is problematic because you trying to make it seem like your fellow African brothers and sisters are the issue to your country, are the one who's creating havoc to your country, and it's not the case, right? And that's why when I come into the panel, I said earlier that apartheid just ended. I was alive when apartheid ended, right? And I'm in my 30s. I was alive. So if we right, and looking at the picture here, I'm not sure if this picture. Like I say, probably you guys probably were trying to be pro-African, like advocates for African nations like the Congo and other African nations who are suffering from certain impoverished situations.
Forget the picture. Make your own argument.
No, I'm not. No, I'm saying it could be what you guys are advocating for here on the panel, but listening to what other people are speaking, I kind of dispute that. I don't know if that's the actual reason because I'm not sure if it's mockery. I'm not sure if it's mockery to mock other countries because of the impoverished situation. It could be mockery, or it could be trying to have some type of empathy, right? And say, okay, we need to change the situation in our continent. Right, it could be two things, right? But what I heard in the panel prior, I don't think is empathy to change the situation in the continent or being for fellow African brothers and sisters. I think it could be mockery.
Okay, let's forget the picture for a second. Let's talk about your own thoughts. I'm going to ask you a question now, very simply. You are saying South Africans are talking about African criminality and stuff like that, right? Do you have proof that they are wrong?
I'm sorry?
I'm saying, okay, let's
that they are wrong.
Wait, no, wait. Before I ask you that, let me start here. Have you been to South Africa?
No, I haven't been to South Africa.
You haven't been to South Africa. Okay.
No, I have not.
The things that South Africans are saying about Nigerians and them committing crimes in South Africa, do you have any proof that they are wrong?
Okay, yeah, and what I notice when I hear there's actually no statistical analysis that is given. There's always personal feelings.
I mean,
right?
I can give you
stats.
Literally.
Never give stats.
Okay. Are you saying there's no evidence of Nigerians committing crimes in South Africa?
Well, what I'm saying is, I'm sure you will see someone conduct something, etc. Right? Let's say you have 10 Nigerians or 20 Nigerians, right? And that one Nigerian might commit a crime, and now the whole entire 20 Nigerians have been take the whole brush and say they're all like this because one of them did it. So I think that's a situation that even Africans have suffered with the white man. I saw with the colonial power is that when one white person, like I'll use the States for instance, when one black man rob a store or rob a bank, now it's all black people to bring this stereotypical imagery of all black people being criminals and robbers. Okay. And that's the same situation I feel like the South Africans are doing to us Nigerians.
It's going to be too easy. Okay. I mean, let me ask you something. You said you live in the US, right?
I live in the States.
Fantastic. And I'm sure, how long have you been in the US, by the way? Out of curiosity.
20 years.
20 years. Then you're a fantastic person to answer this question. I'm sure you know of the different gangs like the Bloods and the Crips, right?
Okay.
You do?
I'm aware of gang culture in America, yeah.
Yeah. Fantastic. Okay. How many whites do you know belong to Bloods?
That belongs to blacks? What do you mean?
No, that belongs to the Bloods gang.
There are different cultures and different ethnic groups that in the Blood. You have Asian Bloods.
No, I'm asking a simple question. So okay, let me phrase it differently. Let me phrase it. Wait. Let me phrase it differently. Right? The Bloods gang. Is it predominantly black or predominantly white?
It's a black gang, yeah.
Okay. MS-13. Is it predominantly Mexican or is it predominantly black?
It's a Salvadorian gang. It's not a Mexican gang, but I understand it's a South American gang.
But it's more of the Latin countries, yes?
In a sense, yeah.
Fantastic. Okay. And you look at Cribs. Is it a bunch of skinheads or is it black people?
Black gang. What is this?
It's a black gang.
What is the
point of my argument? The point of my argument is this. If someone says a lot of people that are involved in this syndicate belong to this people group, does that now mean that all of the people of that race are that? Of course not. In South Africa, no one has ever said that all Nigerians do that. We are saying as far as the powder issue is concerned, Nigerians are dominant in that area. In the same way that you have just admitted that most of the Bloods are black. Does that mean all black people are part of the Bloods? No. Right? You just admitted by yourself. No, don't pause and go to another screen. I want you to come back.
Yeah, because I also have to.
You
I'm
see,
not going in.
So no, it's fine. So here's what I'm saying. You just came now and you said, right? You admitted yourself that a lot of people that are involved in MS-13 are not black. They are mostly of Latina descent. Right? So when I say that if for example MS-13 commits a lot of house breakings, and then I come out and I say a lot of the gangs that commit house breakings are Latina, I'm not wrong then. By your own admission, most of the gangs that do that come from people of that descent. In the same way that if the Bloods were the ones that were committing the most bank robberies, and then I say a lot of black people in this gang are the ones that are committing bank robberies, I wouldn't be wrong. But that does not necessarily mean I'm saying all black people are doing that. That is the South African argument. Our argument is, and no one is saying all Nigerians in South Africa are pushing powder. We have Nigerians here that we revere. We have guys like William Okpara, who was an Orlando Pirates goalkeeper, and he's now been Orlando Pirates' goalkeeper coach, and he's been one of the longest serving members of that football club. No South African wants that guy to go. We had guys like Onyekanchi Okonkwo, who played for the club.
What I'm saying, if you have certain phobias, right? And what it is, like he mentioned the snake analogy. That's a horrible analogy because snake is you have natural fear of height. That's a natural fear.
No, you're failing to get
Sigma.
I'm saying
Sigma, it's okay. I'll bring it home. Carry on, King.
A Nigerian is not a natural fear. Like, come on now, that's ridiculous, right? So what I'm saying is South Africans have created a negative stigma against Nigerians. So you may have an innocent Nigerian who didn't do nothing, right? But if you get accused of something, someone says, you did this, because they have a stigma against a Nigerian, basically a stereotypical viewpoint towards the Nigerian.
If majority are like that, then exceptions don't matter. It's that simple.
Exactly.
That's stereotypical. That's the definition of
It's a justified stereotype, though.
It's a justified stereotype. It's
And they're also
if
coming
majority of them are like that, then
what is the percentage of Nigerians in South Africa? Is massive. How many different cities?
Okay, let me ask you a very simple question. Let me ask you a very simple question, King. If you are in a gated suburb somewhere in the US, right? Say maybe you were in, I don't know, somewhere in Malibu or whatever, right? And you see, three guys walk up towards you wearing hoodies, right? Versus you being in Harlem, and there are two guys or three guys walking towards you wearing hoodies. In which of the two neighborhoods would you feel more or less safe?
So I'm not really trying to say because Malibu has less crime.
I'm asking you a very don't try to assume my argument for me. Answer the question I asked you.
I'll feel probably unsafe in both situations because there's two guys with hoodies. And I'm not.
But in which one would you feel most unsafe? Because maybe with snakes, people want to try and make it scientific. Let's make it nice and social. I'm asking you a very simple question. Okay, Sharp. Let me twist it around. You see two white boys walking towards you at night at 9 p.m. on an open road versus two black boys walking towards you at 9 p.m. on an open road. Which group of boys make you feel less or more safe?
You just proved my point just right answering that question.
Be honest.
Exactly.
Answer the question.
I'll go answer your question.
Answer the question.
You know what? You proved my point because society had created a scenario that the white man is.
Answer the question. Where do you feel safe? I didn't ask you about society. Where do you feel safe? Don't tell me about society. Where?
Okay.
This one is wasting our time.
Before he goes,
I
want to come back.
This one is wasting our time.
Yeah, but I want to. Let me just hold on.
Let
me come back to my because this is also
calm down.
Calm down. Because remember, this is also for the benefit of those listening, and I want everybody to understand the point I was making about snakes, right? So he said, and I said to him, well, if a certain group with it comes to a country and they behave, majority of them, in a similar way and in ways that are contrary to the values of that particular. Just hold on, bro. Just hold on. Just keep quiet. If a certain group behaves in ways that are contrary to the values and norms and customs of that particular area, then naturally a perception will be formed against those people, and that perception is anchored on reality. It's based on their lived collective experience, right? Just like snakes. We have a natural aversion with snakes, and it's because our collective experience, evolutionarily and otherwise, we have learned that snakes are harmful, right? Now he's saying, well, that's not a good example because blah, blah, blah. No, it is a good example because one can argue, well, but not all snakes are harmful to humans. Not all snakes are venomous. But they're all snakes. And because we don't know which one is venomous and which one is not, naturally we have an aversion and a kind of stigma or perception against all of them. And rightfully so, because you don't know which one's going to harm you. So if our collective experience is that Nigerians tend to sell powder and do all of these things and scams and so on, it doesn't matter whether there's good ones or not because they're not written on their foreheads. We can't tell the difference. That is how, social stereotypes and stigmas formed. They are anchored on reality in most cases. And in this particular case, it's not even an assumption because they are all over our prisons. Moreover, a lot of countries are complaining about the same thing. We had a lady from the Philippines come up here yesterday, and she was relating her story about how she was scammed, violated, and abused by a Nigerian man. And she goes further to say they do this to a lot of their women. They married them for citizenship and all these things, just like they do here. So there is nothing, unfortunately, you can say in defense of your countrymen because you have a global reputation that you have created yourself. You cannot come up here and cry and play victim as though you don't know.
I'm not Nigerian first, I'm Liberian, but I will say this, right?
Yeah, but that's even worse because then what are you talking about? Why are you triggered?
You see, if you say majority of them commit crime, because a majority, it's over 50% of their population, and that's a massive number. If you say because you have minorities and you have majorities, right? If you say a majority of Nigerians commit crime,
which country are you talking about?
I'm saying if you're saying majorities of Nigerians are committing crimes, that means there's over 50%.
Where?
No, I said
the thing is where?
South Africa. I see listening is also an issue.
In South Africa, in South Africa. If you say majority of Nigerians are committing crime, that means let's say we have 100,000 Nigerians or 500,000, that means over 50% of that million Nigerians are criminals. That's ridiculous.
No, it's
my guy. My guy.
I think this is an IQ problem, brother. This is an IQ problem. Remember now, we spoke about a court system earlier, and I'm glad you brought this up. And I said to you, if you think what I'm saying and what our collective experience is false, then the burden of proof is on you to prove that the Nigerians that we are referring to are indeed innocent. You failed to do that.
No, I didn't.
Okay, are they innocent?
The only way I can do that is to give you statistics. And I don't have the statistics to give you. I don't have actual hard numbers.
Then don't come up here to argue.
But you can't come up here basing your argument on
pure feelings and how it hurts him and how it's...
Yeah, you can't come
without any facts. Instead,
no, but basing his argument on tone and feelings. You can't come up here. You don't have facts. You don't know what we're talking about. You don't even understand what is it that you're complaining about.
And I'll make it easy for him, Astrid.
If
just
you
hold on.
just
wait about white people, because this again is a ridiculous argument. Why do you have to loop in white people when are you saying black immigrants that look like you and I have a right to come here and commit crimes just because it's white people? That's stupid. Let me tell you something. We had a Nigerian, multiple of them, come up here to confirm that what we're saying is true. Now, who are you from bloody Liberia, a country that has nothing to do with us or Nigeria, to come here and...
lived in South Africa. You don't know how it feels like. So please,
I don't think Stigma ever lived in the States. I don't think Stigma lived in the States either, where he was giving me the sticks about him.
Yeah, but the difference is we have Nigerians that
live in a globalized world, information world. We live everything, so you don't have to live in the States to
fine, but I'm telling you,
bring the evidence, bring the statistics to debunk what we are saying. Very simple.
Okay, I'm a Google on the defensive side.
Google it, whatever you want to Google, bring it, and perhaps you need to go and do proper research. After that, you can come with facts.
You're a plaintiff.
And debunk it.
You guys are the plaintiff, right? If you're a plaintiff, you come with the evidence. You come with the statistical. There's all feelings.
No. That's not how it works. You see, now you're exposing. This is why I said this is... No, bro, listen. This is why I said this is an IQ problem. Remember now, when you indict somebody, listen, I'll tell you about how the court system works because I know very well. Listen, if you come up here and say we are wrong, or somehow we have a hostile attitude against these people that you're defending, then the burden of proof is on you to say we are wrong because evidence suggests there's no such, or rather our hostility is baseless. That's how it works. The burden of proof is on you to show us that we're wrong. These people are completely innocent and we don't have anything to complain about.
Okay, so I'm here defending Nigerian, I'm defending Nigerians. We're very obvious. So what I'm saying is, since I'm
brother, I think you're from Nigeria,
guys, but you guys
not even from Liberia.
He's not from Liberia. You don't have no intelligent person.
I doubt you from Liberia, because in Liberia they actually complaining about Nigeria. Nigerians, they actually don't want to associate themselves with Nigeria. Some of them, they've become here and say that they are Europeans or they are from the UK, they're holidaying, whatever. So Nigerians, they actually don't like to be Nigerians. Actually, when they travel, most of them, they don't even associate. That's why they're using South African passport, UK passport, every passport that you can find in the whole world. That is actually a progressive, if I can put it that way. Most of you people actually don't want. There is those ones that are not even calling themselves Nigerians, they're calling them Biafra. So what are you talking about?
Nigerian with a fake accent.
Some of them, they actually call themselves Biafra. They no longer associate themselves with Nigeria. So I don't understand, the brother. What are you guys talking about?
Astrid, Mark says we are all biased. Like he's saying you South Africans are biased in the comments.
Yes, we're not so. Yes, we're not.
Biafra as well. Freedom.
Commander.
My name is Freeborn.
Commander.
Perhaps you're Biafra as well.
Commander.
Are you from Biafra? Because you don't like to be associated with Nigeria. You like to go associate with Biafra. Are you Biafra or are you what?
I'm from Delta State.
Thank you very much. Yeah, but most of your brothers are not, they don't even like to be associated with Nigeria. So I don't understand when that guy, perhaps you see now, is calling himself Liberian. It's not even Liberian, that guy. It's very high chance that is Igbo.
Say on point. Hold on. If really you guys want to be Ghana Kenyan, are proud to be Nigerians, why is it that every time whenever you guys go to a country, you guys automatically